Hello, and in this video I'm going to be covering the economic collapse because of the coronavirus, which is now labelled as a pandemic. And yeah, we'll just get straight into it. What I'd like to talk about is the bigger picture with the coronavirus. After it's all sort of calmed down, in a few months, a lot of people aren't going to have jobs. A lot of businesses will be heavily affected by this. They'll be forced to let workers go in a sense because they don't know how much business they're going to get sort of after this event happens. So cuts will have to be made, and unfortunately it'll be the working class people who will suffer. People who work in the travel industry as well. Oh my god. People, how are they supposed to predict how many people are willing to travel after this epidemic? Go on holidays. If it ends in, say, 2 months, are people still going to go on the holidays? So the airlines are going to be, I don't know how they're going to cope after this event, but they're not being protected though. People working within the who are working in these industries, and people are forced to basically try and get money off the government by applying for universal credit and other well, that's probably the only means, since pretty much most jobs are going to be sort of suspended till it all comes back. There is this article I will leave. It's about the impact that a few people have discussed within the sort of the aftermath and sort of the during of the coronavirus. It talks about 0-hour pay, which I'll go over drastically because these are the people who will suffer the most. If you aren't aware of 0-hour contracts, basically you're only paid if you work. You don't get sick pay, you don't get holiday pay. You do have the freedom to work whenever you want, but as it's coming to sort of concert season, festival season, even the football, a lot of the stewards and security who work at these events work 0-hour because events aren't on every day. They'll work a few times a week. They'll probably work whenever they can because that's sort of the only work they can get, in essence. So if we can see here, the question was asked, can UK employers temporarily suspend employees on 0-hour contracts, which the work just won't be there, is the answer, because this was before a lot of events are being cancelled. The work won't be there because all events have been suspended of public gatherings. Some people can still work at home, but as we know, people who work in some person who works at a museum won't get any shifts anymore. Someone who works as a steward won't get any work anymore. And it's really, even the sort of the small office worker can no longer go in because their job isn't classified as a crucial part. And yeah, I'll link this in the description. It's an old read, but it's still important. So this is interesting. When you apply to come over to the UK and you want to work, you apply for a visa. Usually have your job sort of ready to be accepted there and then. Accepted there and then. They would have had an offer. That's what I'm trying to say. and they come over. They'll work 40 hours a week, and because of this pandemic, they're sort of stuck because they can't work anymore, and they can't go to the government for help because they're classed as a worker, so they can't claim money from our own government temporarily while this thing calms down. And MPs sort of come into the government asking for help, and yeah, this would be another serious situation if you was to work within the if you were a migrant worker. Small things that aren't sort of in law are now being putting forward, and these are huge issues. I don't see why this wasn't addressed earlier. And we can sort of see how businesses are operating. You probably can't see that properly. Gordon Ramsay has hit their finger. These hit back against people slating him for letting off workers instead of paying them sick pay while this all comes around. And this is the greed within these companies, these owners. Why should I pay people sick pay when I can just let them off and rehire new ones when I need them? Selfish. Really, really selfish. In fact, it should be illegal, if I'm honest, to let people go during a pandemic, so you don't have to pay them sick pay while they're at home. It's completely and utterly it's disgusting. And all these people who's losing their jobs, you can get the Conservatives sort of supporters going, oh, no one's losing their jobs. Oh, our government isn't doing that. Why is there over 500,000 people applying for universal credit? Doesn't make sense if they're receiving their sick pay like they're supposed to. Then why are they forced to go into universal credit? It's completely stupid. And it's almost laughable to think they are doing they're doing the best they can. If I'm honest, Boris Johnson now confirmed he has the coronavirus. Everyone should wish him a good recovery, regardless of your political ideas. Conservatives are making fun of people now. In fact, if we go to Twitter, a lot of working class conservatives are like, oh, how do people stay at home all day and do nothing? And this is the low IQ conservatives who simply don't understand anything. In fact, if you're on universal credit, you can't just sit at home and do nothing. You have to apply for jobs. You're not doing nothing, as some of these people, just type it in. How do people sit at home and do nothing and not work? Well, they don't. If they did that, they won't be sitting in a home, to be honest. They'd be homeless. And these are all recent posts within this pandemic, and there's some even before. And look, again, another post. Yeah, I can't see how people sit around and do nothing all day. It's this idiotic viewpoint which isn't taking into consideration other people's downfalls. If you offer these people on universal credit a job, they'll take it. These people don't understand how hard it is to get a job. And I guarantee if any people lost their jobs, they'd lose their minds and they wouldn't get another job straight away. And if I could use that same argument against them, oh, you don't have a job, oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame. Why are you sitting at home doing nothing? It's a complete idiotic viewpoint that these people take up to shit on unemployed people. And it's just fucking disgusting, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's... You can just type it in on Twitter, how do people do nothing all day? And you'll see these absolute fucking idiots of a human being. Like, why are you bringing up unemployed people? They don't. I'll talk a few of the universal credit system. If you aren't applying for jobs, if you aren't going to meetings, you're not getting your housing benefit, you're not getting your benefits, and you're not getting any external benefits you might get, like for disability. They aren't doing nothing. These people are applying for jobs. There's just thousands and thousands of people also applying, and this is just fucking dirt brain conservative talking points. So yeah, hope you liked the video. Please like if you did and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.